All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to talk about a really powerful idea, these huge long-term economic cycles, and more importantly, how the absolute smartest people in the game navigate them. It's all about keeping a cool head when everyone else is either losing their minds or throwing a party. So let me start with a big question for you. What if those massive, portfolio-crushing market crashes weren't just random chaotic accidents? What if they actually followed a pattern? A predictable one? Something as regular and inevitable as the seasons changing? And that question brings us right to the heart of this pattern, a concept that some people call the economic winter. This is the big reason why certain periods in history turn into a lost decade for investors who just aren't ready for it. So what exactly is an economic winter? Well, put simply, it's this long, grinding period. We're talking 7, maybe even 12 years, where things just go flat or even shrink. But here's the key. It doesn't just happen out of the blue. It's the totally predictable hangover that comes after a huge speculative party. And it's all part of this much bigger 40 to 60-year cycle. And listen, this isn't just a theory. It's written all over history. Just look at this timeline of the Dow Jones. It happens over and over again. The Great Depression, the brutal stagflation of the 70s, the dot-com bust followed by the 2008 crisis. They all kicked off one of these long, painful, flat periods. These are the economic winters that just absolutely crush impatient investors. A really good way to think about this is to see the Dow Jones as more than just a stock index. Think of it like the market's thermometer. It's not just measuring the industrial health of the economy, it's also taking its emotional temperature. It tells you when we're running a fever during a bubble and when we've got the chills in the middle of a crisis. And during this winter season, man, the conditions are harsh. Valuations get squeezed, PE ratios just fall off a cliff, credit gets really tight, fear takes over, and volatility goes through the roof. Essentially, it's a massive cleanup. All the crazy excess from the boom gets washed away, and that's why only the strongest, most resilient, cash-gushing businesses, the ones with a real fortress around them, are the ones left standing on the other side. Okay, so if there's a winter, that means there have to be other seasons, right? Exactly. And to really get why winter is so cold, you have to understand the full cycle that gets us there in the first place. And here it is, the whole shebang, the 4 seasons of the market. After the deep fear of winter, you get the spring of hope and recovery. That's when smart money starts scooping up cheap assets. Then, that grows into the confident, sunny days of summer. After that, though, comes the autumn of euphoria, the speculative bubble when things get crazy. The smart move here? Sell into the hype, build up your cash. And that, of course, leads us right back into the fear and deleveraging of winter, where the name of the game is just to survive and hunt for those incredible once-in-a-generation bargains. So knowing the macro season is one thing, but how do companies actually get through it? Well, it all boils down to just a handful of absolutely critical decisions. And that brings us to what we can call the CEO's 5 choices and the incredible discipline of capital allocation. Think about it. When a company makes a profit, there are really only 5 things it can do with that money. That's it. This is the entire menu. Reinvest it, buy back its own stock, pay down debt, just sit on the cash, or pay it out to shareholders as dividends. The true genius of a great leader is knowing which of these levers to pull and, just as importantly, when. And the when is just, it's everything. During that euphoric autumn phase, when every other company is borrowing like crazy and expanding at all costs, the truly disciplined leaders are quietly building up a mountain of cash. Why? Because they know winter is coming. And when that winter finally hits, they use that cash to pay on their own debt and go shopping for amazing assets from all the people who weren't prepared. And you really can't talk about this subject without bringing up the master of the craft, Warren Buffett. This quote of his just gets right to the heart of it. The whole point of investing is long-term compounding, right? And the single biggest threat to that is getting wiped out during a really bad winter. So preserving your capital isn't just playing defense, it's the bedrock for all of your future growth. And if you want to see this strategy in action, just look at this number. That's an unbelievable amount of money. But that massive cash pile isn't Buffett being lazy or uninspired. No way. It's a war chest. It's dry powder, just sitting there, patiently waiting for winter to arrive so he can start deploying it at incredible prices. This is what preparation looks like. Okay, so let's bring this all home. What does this actually mean for you? How can you take these ideas and apply them? Let's boil it all down into a clear, simple survival guide. First and foremost, you have to respect the seasons. Don't fight them. Your strategy has to adapt. When valuations get insane in the autumn, hold cash, be liquid. And you can find leaders who do the same by digging into their annual reports and seeing how they allocate capital. And then when winter hits, your focus has to shift. Forget chasing highs. Just focus on survival and slowly, patiently accumulate high-quality assets. Patience really is your superpower here. Look, if you walk away with just one thing today, I want it to be this formula. Real, lasting success in this game isn't about finding the next hot stock. It's a product of understanding the big picture, identifying truly disciplined decision makers, and then multiplying all of that by an incredible amount of patience. That is how you not only survive the winter, but you put yourself in a position to absolutely thrive in the spring that always